Going. Welcome to the next class. Today we are going to be looking at control flows, and control flows is very important um as you're coding in that. It's like you need wherever you are, you need decisions, right? If you wake up in the morning, you start making decisions that's going to enable you do some certain things in your life that day, and same thing with that. And you need to make different choices, different cases might come in that you want this to run, you don't want this to run, you want this to run. Just like you have in your app, like there are some certain apps that has paid features, and people that like, okay, for example, let's use Twitter for example. Twitter has a lot of paid features, and which I actually am pushing to have one paid feature, which is the premium. And for the premium, you don't get to see a lot of ads, and also you can edit your posts. But for the basic account or for the normal Twitter account, you might not be able to do that. Why? There's a control flow in that environment right there. They say if you have paid for this, then you can use this. If you have not paid, then you cannot use it. That's an example. So you guess it right that we are going to create a main, and we are going to do that. We are going to do that main, and right inside this code block, that's where we'll be writing all our that code for this class. So when I made mention of something, code block. So whenever you see a brace, this is a curly brace, open curly brace, close curly brace, and whenever you see this, inside here is what is called the code block. And code block always start with an indentation, and you'll be seeing that here. So if I click tab here, you see that that's the indentation, 4 lines, 4 different spaces. So let's try and see some different control flows. Example of this is going to be 1 greater than 2. So if we save this, you can see that if I save and run this, you see that it is false. So we are making comparison here. If 1 is greater than 2, and it's giving us false, and this leads us to a new data, a data type, which is a boolean. So as we are talking about control flows, we'll be dealing a lot with boolean, because with boolean, true or false, we can be able to tell our computer, hey, if this is this, do this. If it is this, do this. An example of that is this right here. Is 1 greater than 2? Our computer said no. And then we say we can do something with string. We say is Paul, the string Paul equals to the string Segun. And if I run this, you see it's false. But if I change Paul to Segun and run this, you see that it's true. So if it's the same thing, then it's true. And we can actually do some certain implementation here. Let's say we do name is equals to Paul, and then we're going to do introduce a new statement called the if statement. So now with the if statement, you can be able to tell your computer where and where not to actually run. So the that code is actually coming from the, like, we have lines of code here, 1 to 7. So the that code start to run from 1, 2, 3 down to whatever code you're writing down. That's how the that code actually works. So here we are going to do if name is equal to Paul. So what I'm trying to do here, sorry. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to tell that if if name is equals to Paul, then this block of code I want you to run, just like I told you about block of code. I want you to run this block of code, and in this side, this block of code, I'm going to print, yay, you got my name right. And then if I run this, you see we have on the console that here you got my name right. So let's say we change this to Segun and then run. You see that there was nothing printed, right? And what happened is that name Segun is not Paul. So this is Segun, Segun. It's not Paul. So that's what is happening here. And you can do something, you can add something here. So when you do if, so when you do an if condition, there's also an else clause. So maybe you want, if this does not work, you want to run this, right? An example of that is, let's say you want to print something here at the end here. Maybe you don't know about else clause. You want to print something that if name is not equals to Paul, then print something else. So we'll do name is not equal to Paul, right? And then we run this code, and you can see here that name is not equals to Paul, and that's why printed is this would always be printed actually, because it's at the end. So if it does the check and nothing happens, it goes ahead and then print this. Even though we change this to Paul and then run, you can see that both print actually runs. So how do we actually make it that if name is equals to Paul, we want just a single print to happen? So we need to use the else. So using the else, this is how it is, and with the else also has its own code block which is going to run if that actually happens. So if name is equals to Paul, then this is going to be printed, but else this is going to be printed. So if this happens, then this is going to happen. If this does not happen, this is just going to happen. That's what we are saying here. So if I run this, you see we only have one print, and if I change this to single and run, you can see we have name is not equal to Paul. You see, so all of this is actually how you control your code, what you want your code to do, what you don't want your code to do. So let's say we have a print here. Let's say we want to do something. Let's say we remove all of this and do age is int, then we change this string to 25, 23, and then we do if age is greater than 20 and name is equal to Paul, string Paul, then print this. Yeah, you got it right. So you see, we have introduced one more operator, which is the AND. This is the AND. So what we are doing, we are tying everything together, meaning if this is false, then this print right here is not going to run. If this check is false, then this would not work. So now let's run. You can see there is nothing that is happening here. So if we change this name to Paul right here, you'd be able to see you got it right. And if we change this to less than 23 and then run, you can see that nothing happens. So any of the sides, so whenever we are using AND, I'm sure you know the is it the NOR gates in your computer class, and you would notice that we have the and the or and the not and something like that. We have but I'm very sure that we have the and the or gate. So if it's and, it means that both sides needs to actually work. Both sides needs to be positive, or both sides needs to be true. But if we are using the or, it means that at least one side needs to be true. At least one side needs to be true. So if I run this, it's going to say you got it right. Even though the age is not greater than 19, but the name Paul was equals to Paul. So let's say we change this to Segun right here and then run. You can see that it did not run. You see? So now we can have our else and do something else with that. You can say you failed and then save this, run this again. You see we get the you failed. Now you can also add more if else clause. Like you can do inside here, you do if else, if you can do else if, and then you add another block of code and then write something here. You can do if age is less than 20, then I want it to print here. We are just going to add new else clause, and then I'm going to run this. So we have the new else clause. So what happened here in this else clause is, if this does not work, the first if does not work, it goes to the second and check if the second works. And if the second does not work, then it goes to the last, which is the else. So I'm just going to close with that, and I'm sure you understand this class. And if you don't understand, please ask me some questions on the channel. Thank you.